Before we get straight into talking about Bellator 298 on August the 11th, which I'm sure you're very excited to be headlining that event, it should be a cool one. I wanted to go back to the run that you had after losing to Amosov for the first time, and what you learned from that compared to the most recent loss to Amosov, and like how things have changed from that, because it's unique to you to kind of have these bookmarks in your career, both revolving fights with the same guy. That, I mean, the first time around, it seemed to really push you on in your career.
Yeah, I went on a good run after the first one, and made changes, and knew where I wanted to be. I wanted to be the best in the world, and those are the changes that I needed to make in order to get back to that spot. And so, um, yeah, I'm excited to get back in there again, not sit on the sideline too long, and go show everyone, really how great I am. And so for me, that's what gets you excited, and especially with a dangerous opponent like Brennan Ward.
Did it, like you said, that first time around pushed you on, and the road that you went on after that, I feel like had a lot of the best performances, best wins, and stuff like that. Like, did you get a similar feeling out of this most recent fight with him in terms of like the motivation and the drive? Did it feel like, or was that already there from the last time you fought him?
Yeah, I think it was still there. After this one, it was just, you're at the top and got a belt, and to go out to it just, it stings. It always does. But especially in a situation like that for a title. And but for me, it is what it is. You can't change it. There's nothing you can do. You can't go back and change it. So you have to get back in the gym. You got to improve. I think for me, it's more not proving people wrong, but just proving, going out there and being dominant and showing, how great I am.
Yeah, that kind of being in that mindset of, like you said, not necessarily proving people wrong, but more proving that you do still belong, like, in this position, right at the very top. How does Brennan Ward factor into that? Like, do you think that, because he's, despite the loss to Amosov, that I imagine that's going to be his motivation, is beating you and kind of swapping places with you as the new guy who's right up there, you know?
Yeah. For me, it was pretty much fought everyone in the top, uh, in the top of the division, and beat everyone besides Amasov. And so um, I wanted to get back in there, wanted to stay active. He was coming off of a good win. And so I thought it would be a good fight to go in there, and it's going to be an exciting fight. And I thought exactly what I needed.
You mentioned there about beating a lot of the guys in the division already. I wanted to get your thoughts on one of those guys who has recently announced that he's going to be that he's a free agent. Of course, Michael Venom Page, who you fought for the interim title over here in the UK. Like, what's your thoughts on that, and how do you reflect back on the experience of fighting MVP for that interim belt?
Yeah, for him, I guess we'll see what happens. We don't know for sure right now at this point what will happen. Um, but I wish him the best of luck and wherever I guess he ends up. But I guess that fight, he was what 21-20-1 or something going into that fight with me. Um, I knew how fast. Well, I knew how tricky he was going in. His speed is, his speed is different. He is fast, but I knew if I could get to my positions that I could wear him out and beat him up on the ground. And so that's what I had to do. And so for me, it was great to go out there and get a win, get the belt. Um, and so I was excited for that. That's what you work your whole career for, is to fight for a belt, fight for a title.
Yeah, of course. The final thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I imagine it's been something that has played on your mind a lot for this fight camp in particular, which is, of course, the recent UFC retirement of your friend and training partner Robbie Lawler. How was it to be there for like MMA retirements? Like, I'm sure you've seen plenty over the years, do not tend to go how you want them to go. But I can't think of a better way for Robbie to get his send off than that performance, and the video package they played. Everything just seemed to go perfectly on that night. Like, how was that to experience, and what were you able to take from it for your own career?
I honestly think it's the greatest retirement ever. I don't know if we've really ever seen anything like that. Have we seen a video? Like, usually you just don't see it. Guys don't say really, and then they just take their gloves off and it's done, And so, especially it's almost always after a loss. So I think, honestly, I think it was probably the greatest retirement, kind of send out video, crowd, just the whole, the fight, the knockout. So it was special to be there. It was fun to be in the back with Rob. So relaxed, just the way he is, and I kind of enjoyed it because I was 5 weeks out or something like that before my fight. So it's kind of a little pre-fight for me to be back in the back and see how Rob, it's good to be and experience those feelings, and a guy that is now kind of one of my head coaches and has been in my corner since 2017, almost every fight. And so it was special for him, and I was excited for him and his family. And it was just, you can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, it was strange. I don't know whether it was the same for you, but like even us that are like huge Robbie fans, you get so little of a glimpse into what he's feeling, right? Like, he's such a stonewall guy, which is why we love him, of course. But like, even to see him like engage with some of it at all was surprising almost. But did you notice anything about him like during the week that was like any more like, he's not the type of guy to stop and kind of take everything in for a minute?
No, I think he was having a lot of fun, really. It wasn't about fight. He just had a lot of fun, and it was loose and relaxed. And then, as the fight got closer and we started, I think it became real. And then once he walked up the steps and looked around, and you saw like the little tear, like I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And I've spent a lot of time with Rob, and hang out, and he's a good friend. And so you knew it was what it meant to him before the fight, and then when it happened, me and Jason and Hoagie just yelling and jumping up and down, because you knew how much it meant to him, and the pride that and the work and he's put in for all these years, 20 some years. And so you can't ask for a better send off.
Yeah, the final thing I guess I wanted to ask you about is because, as mentioned, we don't really get an insight into Robbie too much. And I assume now that I know that he already kind of spoke about his plans now that he's retired to focus on coaching a little bit more than he does already. But obviously for you, that's going to be great to have him around for a lot longer and all of that. But what is he like as a coach to have around? Because I can't imagine Robbie Lawler being anything other than the one that we see, because usually, you can put him on the biggest stage possible and he is like... he's just not phased at all. So I imagine he's like that to have around. Is he like the guy that you have in your corner that is always just composed and doesn't get carried away?
Yeah, he's very, very mellow, very chill. When explaining stuff, if you're doing something wrong, he's just try it this way. What do you think about this? That's him. He's not screaming, yelling, upset, really. The only time I've ever seen him a little bit in the corner, a little bit when he's trying to get you, but besides that, that's Robbie, just very, very to the point. And he's a great coach, and now I'm excited for him to really be in the gym a lot more.
Yeah, for sure.
As a coach, as a coach now.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like, and of course, looking forward to the comeback season for yourself. Thank you so much for the time, mate, and all the best for August 11th.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool. Cheers, man. See you later.